What's up, everyone? In today's video, I asked my chat to help me write a fan fiction with a little twist. Now, if you've been following my channel for a while, you know I just love fan fiction. But I've never actually written a fanfiction myself. So I thought I'd go live on Twitch, twitch.tv/Dannyphantom.exe, and ask my chat to help me write one. But of course, there was a little caveat. My chat was gonna give me prompts, and I was gonna use ChatGbt to write the rest of the fanfiction. Now, this was all recorded live on Twitch during my week-long stream. This is why I haven't been posting the last 2 weeks. I sincerely apologize. I will get back on it, I swear to God. And if you want to be a part of this next time, make sure to go follow me on Twitch. Also, make sure to like and subscribe. Comment some prompts down below for the next fanfics we write. Hopefully you guys enjoy, and let's get to the video. Do y'all really want a Danny fanfic? We could do so much that's not just like about me. Fine, here we go. Write for me a fanfiction about the male influencer Dannyphantom.exe, in which what does Danny do? Shrek's house? Write for me a fanfiction about the male influencer Dannyphantom.exe, in which he stumbles into Shrek's house in the swamp and finds King Julian awaiting him. Dannyphantom.exe found himself lost in the swamp. He had been shooting a video for his latest vlog when he took a wrong turn and ended up wandering aimlessly through the murky waters. He trudged through the bog and heard a faint sound coming from somewhere ahead. It sounded like music and laughter. Curiosity piqued Dannyphantom.exe, followed the sounds until he stumbled upon a dilapidated shack. He approached the door and it creaked open, and Dannyphantom.exe found himself face to face with Shrek. "What brings you to my neck of the woods?" he asked. She? Is this what? Alright, cool. Shrek uses she, her pronouns. "What brings you to my neck of the woods?" she asked, her eyes narrowing suspiciously. Dannyphantom.exe stumbled over his words, trying to explain how he had gotten lost. Before he could say anything else, a voice interrupted him. "Greetings, my loyal subjects. King Julian, the lemur from Madagascar, sitting on a throne made of mud and twigs." "Who are you?" Danny asked, bewildered. "I am King Julian, the self-appointed ruler of this swamp. And you, my dear friend, are a guest in my kingdom." Danny, unsure of what else to do, cautiously steps forward. King Julian grinned widely and motioned for Danny to sit on a small stool next to him. Shrek watched from the shadows, still wary of the stranger in her home. For the next few hours, Danny sat and listened to King Julian's rambling stories and attempts to teach him how to dance. "Move it, I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it." Despite feeling out of place, Danny found himself laughing and enjoying the company of the eccentric king. "Where's Mort? Where's Mort?" As the night wore on, Shrek began to warm up to Dannyphantom.exe, and the three of them continued to chat and dance until the early hours of the morning. As Danny prepared to leave, King Julian gifted him with a crown made of leaves and vines. "You are an honorary member of my kingdom, my friend. And remember, always embrace the fun in life." What's going on between Shrek and King Julian? Don't ask questions. Sweetie Clown Mort? Okay. Well, Danny attempted to leave the swamp. He found himself face to face with King Julian's court jester, Mort the lemur. Danny let out a startled gasp as he almost bumped into a small lemur who had suddenly appeared in front of him. The lemur, dressed in a brightly colored gestured costume, grinned up at him with a mischievous grin. "Why, hello there," the lemur chirped. "I see you've met King Julian. He's quite a character, isn't he?" Danny nodded, still a little dazed from the unexpected encounter. Yeah, he definitely knows how to have a good time." The lemur nodded eagerly. "Oh, absolutely! That's why I'm always by his side, to make sure he is entertained." Danny couldn't help but chuckle at the lemur's infectious energy. "So, what's your name?" The lemur puffed up his chest proudly. "I am Mort, the king jester to King Julian himself." Danny smiled. "Nice to meet you, Mort. I'm Dannyphantom.exe. Mort's eyes widened. "Oh, I've heard of you. You're that famous influencer, right? The one who makes all those cool videos." "Yes, just cool videos." Mort bounced up and down excitedly. "Wow, this is so cool. I've never met a real influencer before." Danny laughed. "Well, I'm not that special, really. I'm just a regular guy who likes to share stuff online. I'm literally just a dystopian protagonist. I am a Your Name character. I'm just a normal guy." Mort shook his head vigorously. "No way! You're way more
saying that? You're like a celebrity. I bet King Julian would love to hear all about your life in the outside world. Come on, I'll take you to the king's throne. He'll be so thrilled to meet you.
He kills you? Is that what happened? Does Mort pull out the fucking gun? While Danny is led through the swamp by Mort, Mort discreetly takes out a semi-automatic handgun and turns to eliminate Danny with his weapon. Oh no! I can't. No! Oh, it won't let me do this. All right. While Danny's led through the swamp, Mort discreetly takes out a 9 and turns to Danny. It knows what a 9 is? Come on, bro. What the fuck is going on? Sexual tension at Arnie. Yes, Arnie. Arnie's gonna squash Mort to death. The male influencer, Burlap, aka Arnie, swooped in through the canopy of the swamp in an attempt to save Danny from Mort. Mort and Arnie fight, but Mort is eventually crushed under Arnie's foot / waffle stomper. Danny looked up to see his figure swinging from the branches, gracefully making their way to the ground. It was Arnie, another male influencer who was known for his impressive parkour skills and daring stunts. Danny had seen some of Arnie's videos online, and he was amazed by the man's athleticism. "What are you doing here?" Danny asked as Arnie landed in front of him on the floors. "I heard you were in trouble, man," Arnie said with a grin. "I figured I'd come to the rescue." Danny couldn't help but smile at Arnie's bravery. He was touched by that another influencer would go out of their way to help him. Before Danny could say anything else, Mort suddenly lunged forward, brandishing his flip-flop once again. Arnie was quick to react. He dodged Mort's attack and launched into a series of kicks and punches, aiming for Mort's face. Mort was surprisingly nimble, dodging and weaving around Arnie's attacks. The two of them circled each other warily, each waiting for the other to make a move. It was a fierce battle, but neither side giving an inch, but eventually Arnie gained the upper hand. He landing a crushing blow to Mort's stomach, causing the lemur to stumble backwards. With a fierce expression on his face, Arnie lifted his foot and brought it down on Mort's head with a mighty stomp. There was a sickening crunch as Mort's skull was crushed under Arnie's waffle stomper. It said it! Danny looked away, unable to watch as Mort's lifeless body crumpled to the ground. Arnie turned to Danny, his face solemn. "Sorry you had to see that," he said quietly. Danny nodded, still in shock from the violence he had just witnessed. "It's okay," he said. "I'm glad you were just here to help." Arnie gave him a small smile. "Anytime, man. That's what influencers are for, right?" That's what influencers are for? To waffle stop lemurs? It's giving damsel in distress. Mort, you need to move it. Please, Mort, please. Oh my god. Okay, I think it's time to start a new fan fiction. What do you guys think, chat? Yeah, new one? Let's do a new one. What are the hero's powers? What do you guys think the hero's powers are? I know what they are, but what do you guys think the hero's powers are? All for one? No, that's my hero ripoff. Fuck you. Please write for me a fan fiction about a hero with the power of insane riz and the villain with the power of every single man, in which the hero and villain fall in love. In the world of superpowers were the norm, there was a hero known as Insane Riz. Her What? No! Make them gay! I want to see men! Once upon a time, in a world full of superheroes and villains, there was a hero named Riz. Riz had the power of Insane Riz, which allowed him to manipulate reality with his thoughts. He used his powers to fight against the forces of evil and protect the innocent. One day, Riz encountered a powerful villain named Jack. Jack had the ability to absorb the powers of every single man he came into contact with, making him nearly invincible! So he could only steal powers from people who use he, him pronouns. So, if he fights anyone who identifies as female, he's fucked. Same with anyone who's non-binary. If you're non-binary, you're safe. Jack is just ditto for men. Riz knew he had to meet his match in Jack, and a fierce battle ensued. As they fought, Riz realized that Jack was not like the other villains he had faced before. Jack was intelligent, charming, and had a sense of humor that Riz found himself drawn to. Despite their opposing powers and beliefs, Riz found himself developing feelings for Jack. Jack, too, felt himself attracted to Riz's strength and courage. He admired Riz's unwavering commitment to justice and the way he fought for what was right, even if it meant risking his own life. As the battle continued, Riz and Jack found themselves unable to keep their feelings hidden from each other. They eventually stopped fighting and shared a moment of passion, embracing each other amidst the chaos. Despite their newfound love for each other, Riz and Jack knew that their roles as hero and villain could never be reconciled. They parted ways, both deeply affected by the encounter. Years passed, and Riz continued to fight against the forces of evil, always keeping Jack in his heart. Jack, too, struggled with his own feelings for Riz and the life he had chosen as a villain. Eventually, Jack had a change of heart and realized he could use his powers for good. He approached Riz and asked him to help him become a hero. Riz agreed, and together, they fought against a common enemy, this time as allies. Rose and Jack, no, Riz and Jack. Oh, just no! Tell me about the first battle between Riz and Jack. Please go into detail on how they used their powers, including dialogue from both Riz and Jack. Riz and Jack faced off in a deserted city street. Jack stood there, grinning wickedly as he prepared to take on Riz.
So, you're the infamous Riz,
Jack said, cracking his knuckles.
I've been looking forward to this.
Riz stood his ground, eyes narrowed. I won't let you hurt anyone else. Your reign of terror ends today. Jack chuckled.
I don't think you understand, Riz. I've absorbed the powers of every man I've come across. I'm practically invincible.
Riz didn't reply, instead focusing his energy on activating his insane Riz power. Reality began to warp around him, the buildings around them rapping and distorting as he unleashed his power. The Riz time continuum now!
Hey, baby girl, it'd be crazy if you opened a black hole right in front of me.
Whatever you say, Daddy.
Two powers clash, creating a powerful shockwave that sent debris flying in all directions. Riz gritted his teeth, struggling to hold back Jack's onslaught. You can't win this, he growled. Jack just grinned.
We'll see about that.
He charged at Riz, his fist glowing with the power of every man he has ever defeated. Riz leapt back, dodging the blows as best he could. He countered with blasts of energy, but Jack absorbed it effortlessly. As the battle raged on, Riz and Jack found themselves locked in a stalemate. But then something unexpected happened. As they clashed once more, Riz felt a sudden surge of warmth in his heart. He realized he was falling for Jack, the very villain he was fighting. I can't fight you like this, Riz said, his voice shaking.
What's wrong, hero? Can't handle the heat.
But Riz ignored him, stepping closer to Jack. I don't want to fight you! I want to be with you! Oh, whoa, here we go! Jack's eyes widened in surprise, then narrowed suspiciously.
Are you playing some kind of trick on me?
Riz shook his head. No, I'm serious. I don't care about our powers or our role as hero and villain. I just know that I'm drawn to you. Jack looked uncertain for a moment, and then sighed.
I don't know what to say.
Riz stepped forward, taking Jack's hand. Say that you feel the same way. Jack smiled, and his eyes softened.
I do. I want to be with you.
This is so stupid. But then reality came crashing back in. They pulled apart, reluctantly stepping back from each other. We can't be together. Not like this, Riz said, his voice heavy with regret.
I know,
Jack replied, looking equally conflicted.
But we'll always have this moment, won't we?
Riz nodded, then stepped back, getting into fighting stance. We have to continue our battle, Jack. For now, we are still the hero and the villain. Jack sighed, but not in agreement.
But I know that we'll always have this connection between us, Riz, no matter what happens.
And with that, they could resume their fight, their hearts heavy with the knowledge of their impossible love. God damn, that is some good fluff! I'm not even gonna lie! Absolutely out of this world, Riz! I want to know about Riz's powers. I want to hear them. Come on. Insane Riz allows him to warp reality to his will. When he activates his power, the world around him becomes distorted and twisted, bending to his every whim. He can create illusions that are so convincing they can be mistaken for reality. Guys, he doesn't have insane Riz. He gaslights us. Doesn't have insane Riz. He's just a male manipulator. Can make people see things that are not really there and make them think that they're in a different location entirely. The extent of his powers is limited only by his imagination and willpower. He can create entire worlds within his reality warping field, complete with their own set of rules and physics. For example, he can make a world where the sky is made of water or where gravity is reversed. Okay, never mind. He's not gaslighting us. He's telling the truth. He just makes it the truth. Like, no, we're upside down. You're like, no, we're not. And he's like, we are now. Riz says 2 + 2 is now truly fish. Riz has godlike powers. However, using insane Riz takes a toll on him. The more he uses it, the more it's strained he becomes. The strain on his mind and body can be immense, and he can only maintain his power for a limited amount of time before he needs to rest and recuperate. In battle, Riz uses his power to disorient and confuse his opponents. He can create illusions to distract them or make them seem like they are fighting in a different location entirely. He can also use his powers to create barriers or traps, such as walls, spikes, that seemingly appear out of nowhere. One of the drawbacks of insane Riz is difficult to control. If Riz loses focus or concentration, his power can backfire on him, creating unintended consequences or even harming him. This is a real anime-ass power. Reality is his baby girl. That's what it is. Let's hear about Jack now. Jack's power, the power of every single man, is his ability that allows him to absorb and utilize the power of every single man he comes into contact with. This includes both physical and mental powers, as well as any supernatural abilities that they may possess. The limits and drawbacks of his power are twofold. Firstly, he can only absorb the powers of men. It's canon! He cannot acquire powers from women or non-binary individuals! ChatGbt is ally! The range of powers Jack can absorb is vast and includes everything from martial arts skills to superhuman abilities. For example, if you were to touch a skilled boxer, he would gain their fighting prowess and technique. If he was just a superhero, he would gain their superpowers. Once Jack had absorbed a power, he can use it if it were his own. He can also combine powers to create unique and powerful attacks. For example, he could combine the strength of a bodybuilder with the agility of a gymnast to create a devastatingly fast and powerful attack. Whoa! The effective powers he absorbs are temporary and wear off over time. The length of time he can maintain a power depends on how much he has absorbed and how much strain it puts on his body. In battle, Jack uses his power to adapt to his opponent's strength and weaknesses. He can quickly assess his opponent's skills and abilities and then absorb the power he needs to gain the upper hand. He's a versatile fighter and able to switch between different fighting styles on the fly. Despite his immense power, Jack is not invincible. He's vulnerable to attacks that target his mind or emotions, and his powers can be overwhelmed by opponents who are able to outlast his temporary gains. So he steals people's powers, but he doesn't keep them forever. Like, absorbs them, so they have their powers, but he's just like, now I have them too. So he's kind of like that one dude who like could absorb like a third of people's powers from My Hero, you know? Copy Jack. You'll never be Jack. You'll never be insane, Riz. You can never be insane, Riz. Jack gains the power of gender confusion from me. Oh, fuck!